Hey guys, hope you are all doing well today. So we have a matchup between the Lizardmen going up against the forces of the Vampire Counts. This is a matchup which I actually posted recently on my channel, like Lizardmen versus Vampire Counts, but this battle was just too good to pass up. So here I am, showing off the Lizardmen army with the star Lord Croak once again, the venerable Lord Croak, coming in with his deliverances of Itzas, which are gonna absolutely massacre the Vampire Count's infantry. Now, before we get into the army compositions, I just wanted to thank all my viewers and subscribers for 100 subscribers. It really means a lot for a small YouTuber like me. And as a sort of gift to the community, I will be making a Discord server, which I'll leave linked in the description, in which I'll mostly just be posting updates on my channel, along with my plans for competitive tournaments, I guess. I'm planning on hosting like King of the Hills and whatnot on this channel soon, so be sure to join my Discord if you want to get updates on that. Anyways, let's get into the battle. So for the Lizardmen army, as I already mentioned, it's going to be centered around Lord Croak and his deliverances of Itzas. Frontline's going to be made up of Sorcerers with shields, who are just going to be expected to hold out against the, well, seems like this Vampire Count's infantry is actually pretty high level. A lot of Graveguard, Regiment of Renowned Skeleton Warriors, so the Sorcerers with shields are just going to be expected to hold out and group up the Vampire Count's infantry so that Lord Croak can use his spells to their maximum effectiveness. In the back, 3 units of Skin Cohorts with Javelins just to slowly but surely pepper down units over the course of the battle and provide some anti-air. Seems like the Vampire Counts have gone very air heavy. They have a giant air force ready to demolish the backlines of the Lizardmen. 1 unit of Sacred Croxagores. Main reason I got this guy was for his magical attacks. He's probably the cheapest unit on the Lizardmen roster that can deal damage, magical damage, and so he is going to be very effective against, say, ethereal units. As I just mentioned, Lord Croak gonna have his deliverances of Itzas, and for the Lord, we are going to have Saurus Oldblood upon his Feral Carnosaur, going to be very powerful against Von Karstein and a lot of the Terrorgeist or Vargeist and or Vargulfs if the Vampire Counts player brought any. Really any large unit Saurus Oldblood will have a fun time with. And 1 unit of the Umbral Tide, the Regiment of Renowned Salamander Hunting Pack. Now this was a pick I was a little iffy about. The Salamander Hunting Pack is very powerful, but the Vampire Counts have a tendency to go very air heavy, and so these guys can get shut down pretty easily in the back lines. 2 units of Chameleon Skinks going to be currently peppering down Von Karstein, but generally very effective in this matchup. And that's pretty much it for the Lizardmen army, so let's move on to the Vampire Counts. Frontline going to be made up of Chaff units, zombies, really not going to hold out too well against Saurus Warriors, but they're effective nonetheless. Great value unit. We have the Königstein Stalkers, the Regiment of Renowned Skeleton Warriors. Going to provide another great value unit, which will definitely be holding out a bit better than zombies against Saurus Warriors, though I doubt they would win. And the Elite Graveguard, including the Stearnsmen, the Regiment of Renowned Graveguard, which are going to be putting up a much better fight. In fact, they'll probably beat the Saurus Warriors themselves. So a very elite, very good Vampire Counts infantry corps that will definitely be able to eventually beat down the Lizardmen infantry, though they have to be careful to about not getting grouped up because of course Lord Croak is waiting. In the skies, so we're gonna have 1 unit of Fellbats. Yeah, it seems to be 1 unit of Fellbats. Yeah, just 1 unit of Fellbats and 3 units of Vargeist, including 1 Regiment of Renown, the Devils of Schwarzhafen. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing everything right here. A lot of these names seem like German, not sure what the significance behind that is, but I'm guessing there is some relation to the German language. But 3 units of Vargeist who are going to be a terror in the skies, definitely going to be compromising the backlines of the Lizardmen and doing a ton of damage to the Salamander hunting pack if they can track them down and land on them. 2 units of direwolves situated in either corner, ready to surprise the Lizardmen from behind. And that's pretty much it for both armies. Oh, I forgot to mention Cairn Wraiths as well, which is the main reason I got my Sacred Crocsgores, who can deal with their... They have ethereal, right? Yeah, ethereal abilities. And with that, let's get the battle started. So initially, Chameleon Skinks just throwing in some pot shots against the against Von Karstein, along with the Umbral Tide, which has recently just been discovered, and some decent damage against Von Karstein initially. A zombie spawn does come in, but they will be missing out on these Chameleon Skinks. Let's see. I believe I do send... So zombie spawns are really weak, and there's really no point in wasting ammo from these Chameleon Skinks, so I do believe I turn off Fire at Will soon, and I start sending Saurus Oldblood. Ammo conservation is very important against the vampire counts. They have a tendency to fight very attrition style fights, where their infantry just straight up duels and beats the enemy infantry over the course of a long battle. And so you really have to be wary of using your ammunition in bulk, since it will mean that in the late game, you will be lacking. And actually, let's speed it up, because the armies are just approaching, not much happening. Saurus Oldblood does charge into the zombies. The zombies really not going to do anything to the Great Carnosaur, and they just continue on sparring. Chameleon Skink still trading fire with some, let's see, zombies right now. And in the back, we see the direwolves have been moved up, but Skink cohort do come in to challenge them. And now the direwolves have decided to charge into the back of into some Skink cohorts, but really wasn't the best option for them, since Saurus Oldblood was ready to react right away and hops on them and instantly starts to break them. Though they do recover, and they will be running back into the forest. Salamander hunting pack forced to retreat as the incoming vampire counts infantry gets ready to fight. Let's see how the other units... Yeah, the other unit of direwolves is also hidden in the forest, getting ready to pounce on the Lizardmen backlines. And let's speed it up a bit again, as the infantry lines will meet. Just a bit of skirmishing going on right now. And here come the direwolves once again. Are they the same? Yeah, they're the same direwolves coming back for a second feast on these Skink cohorts. Though again, they won't be doing too much damage with Saurus Oldblood nearby. Some Sacred Crocsgores going into the back of some zombies, and now the front lines are engaging each other. As I mentioned, zombies will not be putting up a great fight at all against the Saurus warriors. The vampire counts really have to rely a lot more on these grave guards, and a Deliverance of Itza is coming in. Let's see how much damage this does. I'm surprised that really didn't do much damage to the grave guard. So what I've been trying out in this battle was using only the first Deliverance of Itza spell, like the weakest spell, using excuse me, using the smallest Deliverance of Itza and getting multiple uses out of it, since it doesn't take up much Winds of Magic. So I guess it doesn't do much damage to the Graveguard. The Salamander hunting pack firing in at the direwolves right now, and they are very weak at this point, and they get a great shot into Von Karstein, and he is forced to retreat. Felbat's attempt to shut down the Umbral Tide, but they do retreat again. The direwolves have managed to scare off one unit of Chameleon Skinks, and in the forest, one unit of Skink cohort has gotten separated from the rest of the Lizardmen. Some fire going into the Varghese, great fire from the Umbral Tide, will definitely be doing a ton of damage against the Varghese, which are considered monstrous infantry, but they get charged in the back by the Devils of Swartzhafen. Definitely a great play by the Vampire Counts player. A Vargulf spawn does come in, but it is about to leave without doing much damage at all. Salamander hunting pack is just running around, and this is why I was kinda iffy with this pick in this matchup, since with the amount of flying units that the Vampire Counts have, they are just going to be forced to run around for the majority of the battle. front lines are going relatively well for the Vampire Counts. I definitely did not expect this. I thought Saurus Warriors, along with the Deliverances of Itzas, would be doing quite a bit of damage to the Graveguards, but it seems like the first Deliverance of Itza spell, the one I was using, the weakest one, really does not do much damage at all to Graveguards, so definitely I'll remember to keep that in mind for the future. The Sacred Cockscore is currently beating down on some Direwolves, definitely will be winning that fight, and the Umbral Tide somehow is firing even though they have Fellbats annoying them from the back. Crocscores finally spot their ideal target, the Cairn Wraiths, and will start bringing their magical hammers over to beat them down. And now the Vampire Counts have gone all in trying to shut down the Umbral Tide, sending Varghese, Von Karstein, along with the Cairn Wraiths. And so, again, Umbral Tide has mostly been shut down for the majority of the battle, really not the greatest value for those guys. May have to reevaluate that pick in future matchups, but they've still managed to do a decent amount of damage to the Varghese. Von Karstein once again getting into the back of the Umbral Tide. More Deliverances of Itzas coming in, and yeah, just doing decent damage to the Graveguard. Two of them are routing, but the Vampire Counts are being very, very annoying with their cycle charging. They're using the Varghese very wisely to cycle charge the important units, such as the Umbral Tide, while also sometimes, not frequently, but sometimes just soaring into the back of Saurus Warriors and shutting them down. And you can see that has worked very effectively, along with these zombie spawn, has worked very effectively at destroying whatever infantry that remains of the Lizardmen. And now it's not looking great, actually, for the Lizardmen. The balance of power is falsely inflated due to the fact that Lord Croak is at full health, along with where's this boy? Saurus Oldblood, if I can find him. Saurus Oldblood over here. Due to the fact that they're both alive and still at relatively full health, the balance of power is inflated in favor of the Lizardmen, though it really does not reflect that in the infantry fight, where the Sacred Cockscores are really the only thing left holding back the tide of the Vampire Counts. It seems like they're not succeeding in this fight at all, getting cycle charged by some Varghese. Another Deliverance of Itza coming in. Let's see, will this finally put the Stearnsmen in the grave? No, doesn't really do much damage. In future battles, definitely I should remember to use the other Deliverances of Itza, since the first one really doesn't do much damage to armored units such as the Stearnsmen. And now I finally noticed that the skink cohort that was situated in the forest is still alive and still has ammunition, and so they will continue to slowly but surely wear down the Stearnsmen. And now it's just going to be Saurus Oldblood and Lord Croak going up against the elite infantry of the Vampire Counts. We do manage to get one unit of Chameleon Skinks to return to the battle, and they'll slowly but surely be wearing down Von Karstein, though they will probably get cycle charged by the Varghese. Skink cohort with javelins are going to be firing into the backs of the Stearnsmen, though they're also probably going to get chased away by the Varghese. We have some Saurus Warriors and Crocscores that have returned to the fight, but is it too late? The heroes and the lords of Lizardmen have been completely surrounded. Von Karstein is cycle charging Saurus Oldblood along with these Varghese, and really it's not looking great. Completely surrounded by the Stearnsmen and other units of Graveguard, and cycle charged by the Varghese. Really, really bad for the Lizardmen. But they do have a relatively healthy unit of skink cohorts that is fighting back some Varghese. I've been pronouncing Varghese wrong the entire battle, I just realized that. Varghese. I don't know, I've been saying Varghese, I don't know why. Crocscores have been routed from the battle, even though they have the Stand Your Ground spell from Saurus Oldblood. They will be running from the fight, and Von Karstein is getting dangerously low. If he decides to land in with Saurus Oldblood, he will definitely be losing that fight, and so it's really going to be up to the Graveguard that are left, along with the Varghese, to cycle charge Saurus Oldblood to death. Lord Croak also not in the best of positions, looking very low in HP, though he is unbreakable, so he will be in the fight for a bit longer. Forgot to mention another Deliverance of Hitsa did go down on the Graveguard, but again, it's the weakest one, didn't do the most damage. Saurus Warriors are somehow holding out against the Devils of Swordshaven. Swartzhafen and forcing them to go back into the sky. Kroxigors once again have returned to the fight somehow, but they are already wavering and will be running as soon as they get into the fight with some Graveguard. There's really so much Graveguard left, and they're so tough to kill with their, 90 armor? Yeah. A Supreme Shield of the old ones goes down to give 44% damage resistance, but will it be enough? Lord Kroak is extremely weak. Let's see. Saurus Oldblood has been forced to retreat from the fight since the Graveguard were really doing so much damage, and at this point, the Lizardmen's only hope is to cycle charge the Carnosaur. Lord Kroak is also going to be retreating. I attempt to get one more spell with him, one more Deliverance of Itza, but it looks like he is going to be killed by some Graveguard and Von Karstein himself. I do manage to get the last Deliverance of Itza before he dies, and so Lord Kroak finally falls with a bang. And now it's just going to be the Saurus Warriors and Saurus Oldblood. Will he be able to do it by himself? He's probably gonna get cycle charged to hell by these Vargeist, but he is upon his Carnosaur, so his anti-large abilities will definitely be helping. And now Von Karstein has landed, and if Saurus Oldblood manages to kill the Vampire Lord, this might just end up a victory for the Lizardmen. The Vargeist are forced to retreat and once again are going to be coming in for some cycle charging. Von Karstein did take a hit from the Carnosaur and is very low at this point. And they are coming in for the kill upon Saurus Oldblood. Unless Saurus Oldblood decides to turn around and completely kill off Von Karstein. Let's see this duel of the battle. This is going to be the most important duel of the battle. And there he goes, Von Karstein has fallen, and that just means the remainder of the Vampire Count's army will be taking a huge leadership loss, and Saurus Oldblood will eventually wear down these Vargeist. And the battle will probably be won at this point by the Lizardmen, though the Vargeist are somehow steady in this fight. They do have 5 models left, but they only have 940 HP left. Saurus Oldblood is retreating from the battle, and these Vargeist are going to be probably, with these chameleon skinks and their tons of ammo, they can probably just be kited to death. Some Saurus Warriors are returning to get a rear charge into these Vargeist, and even though Saurus Oldblood is running from the fight, this battle is probably done for the Vampire Counts. Yep, there goes army losses. So great game by the Vampire Counts, and definitely a decent game for the Lizardmen, though I definitely learned quite a bit from this matchup. It was very close, and definitely one of the best battles I have ever fought. Anyways, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you guys in the next one.